Hi friends, I'm Dr. Munir Jan, anesthesiologist and intensivist. Today in this slide video presentation, I will be discussing what is volume control ventilation, what is pressure control ventilation, and volume versus pressure control ventilation. So let's begin. Basics of ventilator part 3. In this, as I said, I will be discussing volume control ventilation, pressure control ventilation, and volume control versus pressure control ventilation. So let's begin with slide number 1. Now, each mode of ventilation is defined by its phase variable components. And what are these phase variables? These are trigger, target, and cycle. This trigger, target, and cycle I have explained in detail in my previous 2 lectures. So please go through that. It will be easy to understand the modes of ventilator. Okay. So depending upon what is trigger, depending upon what is target, and depending upon what is the cycle will define what is the mode of the ventilation. Now, in volume control ventilation, the trigger variable for volume control ventilation is assist control. So that is the hybrid mode of the triggering where both patient as well as the ventilator is triggering. Patient is triggering by the change in flow or pressure, okay, and the ventilator is triggering by we have set the respiratory rate, okay. So that will dictate the time between the control breaths. So here in volume control ventilation, trigger is assist control, that is the hybrid mode of triggering where both patient as well as ventilator is triggering. Patient by means of change in the flow or pressure and ventilator by setting the respiratory rate. Okay. Now, second thing, the target variable. Here, the target variable in volume control ventilation is flow. Both the flow rate and the flow wave pattern are selected on the ventilator. The most commonly used flow wave pattern are constant and decelerating wave pattern. So you can have two options. Either you can select the decelerating or you can select the constant wave pattern. Okay, that is also known as the rectangular or square wave pattern. So in volume control ventilation, target is flow. Now the third thing is the cycle variable. The cycle variable is volume. That means reaching to a set tidal volume, then the inspiration will terminate. So tidal volume is selected on the ventilator because flow is set. Setting tidal volume will also determine inspiratory time because flow is equal to volume divided by time. So therefore, inspiratory time cannot be altered by patient's respiratory efforts or by change in the respiratory system. Simply, we have, for example, we have kept flow constant, okay, tidal volume we have set. That means for, as per the formula, flow is equal to volume divided by time. So flow is constant, volume we have set. Now the inspiratory time will depend upon the what you have set the tidal volume. If you have set the tidal volume on the higher side, inspiratory time will be high. If you have set the tidal volume low, inspiratory time will be low. This concept is very important when we manage the patients with ARDS and COPD patients. Okay. Now, in summary, volume control ventilation is a flow targeted, volume cycled mode of ventilation in which the ventilator delivers a set flow of waveform pattern to achieve a set tidal volume. So we have set the tidal volume, we have set the flow. The pressure waveform will vary depending upon the characteristic of respiratory system and patient's respiratory efforts. So that means the only thing that can change is the pressure time graph. The other like flow and volume time graph, there will not be change because we have set the volume, we have set the flow. The only change when there is a change in the respiratory system, change in the respiratory pattern, the only change where you can see is the pressure time graph in volume control ventilation. Now, key concept, volume control ventilation is flow targeted, volume cycled, and the trigger is assist control. And one more important thing, the change when there is a change in the respiratory system, you can see the change in the pressure time graph. The other graphs like flow and the volume time graph, there won't be any change. The only change in pressure time graph. One more important thing in volume control ventilation is that we have an option to select, either we can select this decelerating waveform pattern, okay, or you can select this square waveform pattern. And when you have selected this decelerating waveform pattern, you can have this pressure time graph like this, okay. When you have selected the square waveform pattern, you have this type of pressure time graph where there is continuous increase in the pressure and it reached to the peak, that is what is known as the peak inspiratory pressure. Okay, so in square waveform pattern you can have this type of pressure time graph, and in case of decelerating waveform pattern you can have this type of graph, and these two graphs will vary, will change depending upon the respiratory system change and the inspiratory efforts of the patient. Now, pressure controlled ventilation. Now, first, that is trigger. Trigger variable for pressure control ventilation is assist control, exactly same as that of volume control ventilation. So, the triggering from in volume control is assist control, and here also in pressure control ventilation, the trigger is assist control. Second, the target variable is pressure. So the target is pressure in pressure controlled ventilation. Now proximal airway pressure is selected on the ventilator. Flow is delivered by the ventilator to quickly achieve and maintain the set proximal airway pressure. So we have selected the set proximal airway pressure on the ventilator, and the flow will be delivered quickly to achieve that set proximal airway pressure. And when the flow is delivered quickly, there is a naturally producing decelerating waveform pattern. So in pressure control ventilation, we will have the flow wave, that is the decelerating waveform pattern. Okay. Now the third thing is the cycle variable. The cycle variable here is time. So the time will determine when the inspiration has to end. So the inspiratory time is selected on the ventilator. The inspiration will end after the set inspiratory time has elapsed. Similar to volume control ventilation, inspiratory time cannot be altered by patient's respiratory efforts or change in the respiratory system. Here we have directly set the inspiratory time, while in case of volume control ventilation, we have indirectly set the inspiratory time by setting the flow and by setting the tidal volume. Now in summary, pressure control ventilation is a pressure targeted, time cycled mode of ventilation in which the ventilator delivers flow to quickly achieve and maintain a set proximal airway pressure for a set amount of time. So pressure is set, inspiratory time is set, and flow is quickly delivered to achieve that set proximal airway pressure for a set amount of time. The flow waveform will vary depending upon characteristic of respiratory system and patient's respiratory efforts. So the change, there will be change in the flow waveform pattern, there will be change in the volume waveform pattern, but there won't be any change in the pressure time graph, pressure waveform pattern, there won't be any change. Now the key concept in pressure control ventilation, pressure is targeted, time is cycled. So pressure control ventilation is time cycled, pressure targeted, and the trigger is assist control. And you can see only change in, you can see change in flow waveform pattern, and you can see the change in the tidal volume. You can see the change in the tidal volume time graph, but you cannot see any change in the pressure time graph. Now, volume control ventilation versus pressure control ventilation. Volume control ventilation, pressure control ventilation are similar in that they both use assist control as the trigger. So triggering in both volume control and pressure control is assist control. Additionally, both modes of ventilation have a predetermined inspiratory time which cannot be altered by patient's effort or change in the respiratory system. So there is a predetermined inspiratory time. In pressure control, we directly set the inspiratory time. In volume control, inspiratory time is indirectly set by the flow and the volume. Now in pressure control, as I said, the inspiratory time is directly set, and in volume control, inspiratory time is determined by setting flow and tidal volume. Now key concept, pressure control ventilation and volume control ventilation, inspiratory time cannot vary from breath to breath. Now it's important to note that in both modes of ventilation, a flow waveform is delivered resulting in pressure waveform and culminating in a delivered tidal volume. In volume control ventilation, flow and volume are set, producing a resultant proximal airway pressure. So in volume control, we have volume set, flow set, and that will result into the proximal airway pressure depending upon the compliance, depending upon the airway resistance. Now in pressure control ventilation, proximal airway pressure and inspiratory time is set, and that will result into flow and volume. So depending upon the proximal airway pressure, what we have set, inspiratory time, it will result into how much flow is to be delivered and what should be the tidal volume. If the respiratory system resistance and compliance remains unchanged, switching between these two modes of ventilation would not result into any change of ventilator output. So the ventilator output will be same if there is no change in the compliance and the resistance of the respiratory system. Now imagine a patient receiving pressure control ventilation with proximal airway pressure set to 20 centimeters of water and inspiratory time set to 1 second. Now imagine that the respiratory system is such that these pressure control setting result in decelerating ramp flow waveform with peak flow of 60 liter per minute and tidal volume of 500 ml. Now if this same patient were switched from pressure control ventilation to volume control ventilation with a decelerating ramp flow waveform, peak flow set to 60 liter per minute, that is the target, and tidal volume set to 500 ml, that is the cycle, the resultant proximal airway pressure would be 20 centimeters of water and the resultant inspiratory time would be 1 second, which were the previous pressure control ventilation setting. So if there is no change in the respiratory system like compliance and the resistance of airway, switching from one mode to the other mode will not have any change. Like in this case, okay. Now, given the characteristic of respiratory system have remained unchanged flow, tidal volume, proximal airway pressure and inspiratory time are the same in both cases. What distinguishes these two modes of ventilation is the response to change in the respiratory system, either because of change in resistance or compliance, or as a result of patient's respiratory efforts. As explained, target cycle variable remain unchanged while the other variables will change. So if there is a change in the respiratory system, compliance, resistance, both the modes will behave differently because both the modes will have target different, cycle different. So there the change you can see they will have a different parameters. Now in a patient receiving volume control ventilation and patient is biting the endotracheal tube, it causes an increase in the airway resistance. Simple. When the patient is biting endotracheal tube, there is increase in the airway resistance. Flow, that is the target in volume control ventilation, and volume that is set on the ventilator will remain unchanged. There won't be any change in flow and the volume what we have set. What will change? That is the airway pressure. With biting the endotracheal tube in volume control ventilation, what is going to change is the pressure, proximal airway pressure. It will increase. Alternatively, if the patient is receiving pressure controlled ventilation and bites the endotracheal tube, okay, so what will happen? Pressure we have kept target, so it is not going to change. Inspiratory time, it's not going to change. While what is going to change? It is the flow and consequently volume that will decrease. So in pressure control ventilation, when patient bites the endotracheal tube, proximal airway pressure is not going to change. What will change? It is the flow and it is the tidal volume that will decrease. Now, if a patient is receiving volume control ventilation and makes sustained inspiratory efforts during inspiration, flow is target, volume is target, they are not going to change. But what will change? Proximal airway pressure, it will decrease. So in volume control ventilation, when the patient is making sustained respiratory inspiratory efforts, there is decrease in the proximal airway pressure that you can see on the ventilator. Alternatively, if a patient is receiving pressure control ventilation and makes a sustained inspiratory efforts during inspiration, proximal airway pressure is not going to change, inspiratory time is not going to change. What is going to change? It's the flow and tidal volume. They both will increase. So when a patient is having inspiratory efforts on volume, pressure control ventilation, there is increase in the flow, there is increase in the tidal volume. Now the take-home message. In volume control ventilation, trigger is assist control. Okay, so the trigger is assist control, target is flow, and the cycle is volume. Now, inspiratory time cannot change with change in the respiratory system or patient's inspiratory effort. So, inspiratory time is fixed. You cannot change the inspiratory time. In this, the inspiratory time is fixed indirectly by setting the tidal volume and the flow. Now, patient biting endotracheal tube that increases the resistance will increase the proximal airway pressure. So the only thing that you can see when the patient is biting the endotracheal tube, patient on volume control ventilation, you can see increase in the proximal airway pressure. So there will be increased proximal airway pressure. Now, if a patient is having sustained inspiratory efforts, that will decrease the proximal airway pressure. So what you can see, if the patient is having inspiratory efforts, there is decrease in proximal airway pressure. So in short, in volume control ventilation, the only change that can happen in the pressure time graph. So you can see the change only in pressure time graph. Okay. So now the pressure control ventilation. Now trigger here, it is assist control, same as that of volume control ventilation. Target is pressure and the cycle is time. So it is time cycled and pressure targeted. So inspiratory time is set to achieve this set proximal airway pressure. The flow is quickly delivered to set this proximal airway pressure. And when the flow is quickly delivered to set this proximal airway pressure, it produces naturally, what is that? Decelerating flow waveform pattern. So you will have this decelerating waveform pattern in the ventilator. Okay. Now, change in the respiratory system. For example, if a patient is biting the endotracheal tube, it increases the resistance. And what will happen? It will decrease the flow and it will decrease the tidal volume. Pressure cannot change, but what can change is the flow and tidal volume. So both will decrease when there is biting of endotracheal tube. That increases the resistance. Now, with sustained inspiratory efforts, what will happen? Flow will increase and tidal volume will increase. So both flow and tidal volume are increased when there are sustained inspiratory efforts, and that you can see on the ventilator when the patient is on pressure control ventilation. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. In my upcoming videos, I will be discussing what is pressure support ventilation and what is difference between pressure support ventilation and pressure control ventilation. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram by the name dr.munir.jan. Thank you very much.